some length. Neocolonialism epitomizes the metaphysical dimension of modern-day colonialism. Neocolonialism represents the institutional and systematical entrenchment of overlapping colonial prejudices in contemporary Africa. As such, the philosophical zeal to write myself back to history was aimed at symbolically situating the perennial vulgarities which have formed the basis of Africa's colonially constructed ruin since the time of slavery. Therefore, this book serves as a counter-retrospect to the intergenerational pestilences which the African has endured since time immemorial. Outside the realm of the political, this epic moment is in my personal and academic profile, is a major output of my supportive dear wife and family. Those who thought I was not married, I'm decently married. And this is my gorgeous wife, Sikhanyisiwe Nkandla. Tangmakhawo ngesindebele. Ichachazi lawo Mkandla. You know, when we came back, one of my university mates, I think Mrs. Mavis Wanda. Is she here by any chance? Aha. No, she may stand up, Pemsek, Dr. Swanda. See, we met in 2nd Street, you know, in 1981. She may even recite this story. And says, Bud, I hear you are married now. I said, why? He says, yeah, you are married. I said, yes, I am. He says, who is your wife? I said, we were on the street. That's 2nd Street and that street where there is the court. And I said, wait, let's wait here. And I want me to tell you who you think is my wife among all these pedestrians that are coming here. I was waiting for you. Dr. Swan, do you still remember that? And what happened? But I was also a handsome man. And indeed, she picked the honor because we had just met for the first time after we graduated. That's my wife, who has always been a pillar of strength as she continuously urged me to soldier on as we perfected the book that we are launching today. As has been the norm in my family, our children have always been a beacon of hope in the various endeavors which we individually and collectively partake. I take comfort in the continued warmth which comes from these wonderful people. The mere coincidence, Comrade Vice President, of having celebrated my birthday 2 days ago, and now crowning it with this book launch, is naturally a renewal epoch in my life. In biblical terms, this mounts a Bartness moment to my journey. I continue to feel younger as I learn and unlearn what life has to offer, as each day spells a new dawn pointing out to future vistas. This reinvigoration and rebirth can only implant unmitigated vigor for me to pursue my anti-colonial calling. As a human being who at times is fallible and malleable, traveling such a taxing political and intellectual journey requires deep-seated inspiration. As such, I feel honored by the rare privilege to directly draw inspiration from the great nationalist statesmen I have served so far, namely His Excellency, the President, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, the late Father Zimbabwe, Comrade Dr. J. Mkabokonkomo, and our iconic father of the First Republic, Comrade R.G. Mugabe. Therefore, I'm endeared to the deep inspiration I've been graciously accorded by these distinguished patriots. There are people who claim to know these icons better than I do. Please stop dreaming. I know them better than you. Because I served with them, I served under them. If you think you know better than them, better than me, please write your own book. Don't entertain yourself with falsehoods. And they know I do things consciously. I've never been under the influence of anything. I am an SDA. And my wife is a senior member of the SDA. Ask Comrade Chinga do. We all go to that church. Please don't tell me that you are a messenger of God who has come to judge us. No, we are believers like you do. From Father Zimbabwe up to His Excellency, the founding father of the Second Republic, Comrade Dr. E.D. Mnangagwa, the hopes and aspirations of our people across ideological divide remain in safe hands. I know what I'm talking about because I supervised the transition to the new dispensation. Who else? And I've always listened to my boss, General Chiwenga, cautioning people against claiming themselves what they are not. Because Zimbabweans are special people. Zimbabweans are disciplined people, except for a few who have been heavily compromised. You see, people who thought they were cleverer than all of us are not in this country as I speak. And those who are associated with them are suffering in silence. Because once you are an enemy of the people, you are a danger to society. But they're the ones who are sponsoring all this negative narrative on Zimbabwe. But ngesindebele kuthiwa kakulaqili elazikhothani. How do you say that in Shona? Akulaqili elazikhothe emhlane. Meaning to say, no matter how clever you are, your tongue cannot lick your back. Unless if you are a camel with a long tongue like this. On the other hand, my fellow political cadres here, both at the top echelons and lower ranks of the political ladder, have always conjured my inner resolve to produce an intellectual treasure which they would or could identify with. These interactions indeed marked the genesis of this book, which we are launching today. One discussant, doctor, made mention of the Kukurawundi, where people have decided to be the spokespersons of that said development. You see, my constituency, I've been in government for almost 26 years, and I've been a member of parliament for 23 years. My constituency is one of the constituencies that was affected by those disturbances. I know the people, I live with them, but we have got people in town, people in Harare, people in Bulawayo who have never been to a rural area, trying to convince me that they know Kukurawundi better than I do. Please, learn if you are ignorant. And if you look at all those constituencies in Matabeleland that support ZANU-PF, strongly support ZANU-PF, are constituencies that were affected by the disturbances. Not that they supported the disturbances, but because the old men, George Wankomo, and the old man Mugabe sat down and addressed the issue. The critics have not even read the Unit Accord. The preamble talks about peace, unity, and progress. But some people know, sometimes you just wonder what is going on. Just because they want to please these external detractors. No. Let's not do that. Let's not continue dividing our people. You see, we are one. That's why Obert Mpofu used to say, Tiri vanavevu, children of the soil. That's the slogan that was there. But we hear on Twitter, no, when umdebelo wathengisa, ngathengisani. Umuntu othi uyathengisa, umuntu ozihluphekelayo, wakithi othi unganqo ngamncedela ngamaphansi. Yes, there are views on these issues. They are critical issues, but let's not spend time on issues that seek to divide us. These interactions, as I indicated, indeed marked the genesis of this book, which we are launching today. I would be remiss, Vice President, if I also forget to give credit to several academics who grounded me in my later stage of intellectual growth during the course of my postgraduate studies. I suppose some of them are here. These include household names in the area of policy studies, such as Dr. Ibo Mandaza, the late Professor Masipula Stoli, Professor Sam Moyo, Professor Kwarinda, for my PhD, he was my supervisor, and Professor Chisaga was also a supervisor at some point. Ask him how many hours and days we spent discussing my submissions. And Professor John Makumbe, the late John Makumbe, Professor Alfred Maksunungure, among others. Can you imagine being a ZANU-PF Central Committee member and a deputy minister then? That was 1996 to 1998. Being lectured by the late Makumbe, Masipula Sithole. I became a guinea pig of the group. No, because every example on governance would be, they would all look at me and say, no. For instance, that ZANU-PF student, you know, is agreeing with what we are saying because he knows that they are misgoverning this country. That's Makumbe, that's Mastole, that's... but Ibo Mandaza would call me to his office and say, no, Mpofu, this is an academic institution, don't take offense to that. And it was, they were not doing it, you know, because they didn't like me. They just wanted to test my resolve on issues of academic learning. And that's why I'm acknowledging them. They made me, some of them. And I am grateful to them. So for those that are here, I thank you, comrades, because you have made me. That's why anyone can insult me, can shout at me, and I'll just tell my wife to comfort me. Last but not least, I would like to extend sincere gratitude to my publisher, Land Readers, which is a sub-branch of Leaders for Africa Network. It was a pleasure working with a team of young minds from this organization. What was more delighting throughout the process was the ideologically compelling force to the support I received from this group through its research and publications unit. Through this interactive experience in the authorship of my autobiography, it was even more interesting to note that in our country, we have such civil society institutions whose operational parameters are rooted in the preservation of history, which our people are sadly being encouraged to forget. I urge my counterparts in politics who have a story to tell to establish synergies with organizations like Leaders for Africa Network in the interest of preserving our national memory. And they know my PhD classmates are here, you know, Dr. Dima, Gumbo, and others. And we are proud holders of those degrees, because we didn't do them to look for jobs, no. We did them to critique some of the things that are being presented to us by our erstwhile colonizers. Fellow comrades, we have a task to tell our story as a people, and we can only do that by using Afro-centered ideological safe spaces like Leaders for Africa Network. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm grateful to family and friends who have made this day possible. I've got my children here. In case some think I have no children, what are they? These. Yeah, those are my family. See, so please, I've not been only effective in government or the party, but even at home. You know, there are a lot of stories that can be told. You know, Comrade Dube, my uncle, you see, we actually left. Personally, I left. He left in 1974, 64, 63. I do. Also, his father was a senior SDA pastor in Chambezi. And the first person he encouraged to follow him in 1967 was myself. So when you look at these old men, you think, They are just tired or retired army personnel, but they have a wealth of experience. And we are not foolish. I've never been foolish. Like I say, I do things consciously. I never regret what I've done. I've never been brought before any tribunal for any wrongdoing. No, because I'm disciplined. You can ask my bosses, they're here. Never. I do things because I believe I'm doing the right thing. If people come late and say, no, this was wrong, I'll say, yeah, but look, I thought it was the right thing. Not to say, sorry, I was drunk. No. Comrades, here is to the arrival of a first of its kind in my personal collection, On the Shoulders of Struggle, Memoirs of a Political Insider. And I want to thank you once again for giving me this very, very disciplined attention to listen to my side of the story. I thank you.